as a company that does college planning, when someone comes to us in the last decade and asks if supply chain is a good field to go into, the answer is typically yes, depending on the person. But if you see what's going on with the global supply chain issues right now, um, this is something that's probably never going to go away. The way we do international trade, the way we manufacture things around the globe, food, like so many essentials in life that we will forever need supply chain. So it's one of those fields that if you can get into it and do a good job, you're probably going to have quite a bit of success. Keep in mind, supply chain is a phrase that covers so many different things that can range from transportation and logistics to procurement to materials management, ERP, MRP, inventory management. There's so many different subsets of supply chain. You can really hone in on one of those or kind of be a specialist. Not a specialist, but the VP of supply chain that oversees all those subsets. So looking at that, think about Amazon right now, just to get you thinking. How much of a supply chain company Amazon has become? They have their own, delivery service now. Like they're taking on UPS. So they're covering logistics. Obviously on the procurement side and importing goods, the warehousing, the inventory management. There's so much stuff that's going on just at Amazon because they're so big. You think about the amount of supply chain jobs they've just created themselves. And if you look at some of the colleges, MSU for a long time has been about the number one. I also, on top of Employment Boost, I own a company that's one of the leading manufacturing and supply chain executive search firms in the country. We own a whole group of companies that are very involved in career services every way, shape, and form. But I mean, for a good 20 years, we've been recruiting out of MSU for supply chain for our customers. You're usually going to catch them right up around number one all time. Great program. Arizona State's another one that we recruit out of heavily. We got Tennessee. I think they might have moved up. Pennsylvania State. You get an MBA program too. Ain't going to hurt nobody. MIT on a resume, you're going to almost get an instant interview. Ohio State's been doing pretty well. Obviously another U of M. Ann Arbor, another one's going to open doors. Some really good colleges here that, our approach to college planning is it's outcome based. I think a lot of times you go to college because your parents said you got to go to college. Your counselor in high school says you got to go to college. Everyone tells you got to go to college. And that's a whole other debate. Not everyone has to go to college. But it's one of those things, and then you get to college and you don't know what you want to do. You spend the first 2 years changing programs and bouncing around. You start figuring out, hey, I don't even know what I want to do. What can I put my credits towards without losing a bunch of money or having to retake classes? And then a lot of times you get pushed into these like psychology majors or communication majors. And then you end up with a 4-year degree and you don't know what you want to do. Our thought is we look at outcomes. And we look at a college and say, you want to go to this school and this program. And then we go, here's your probability of where you'll end up if you go to this college and that program. And we map that out. So, if you go to MSU, and I'm just making numbers up for the sake of conversation right now. But if you go to MSU and you go in a supply chain program, your probability of ending up in a supply chain role is 47%. And then ending up in a sales role, that might be 22%. Like we do outcome-based career planning. Because I think that's before you go spend $50,000 or $100,000 on a degree, you probably should understand the probability of where you'll end up if you go in this program. Because you might get into a program and you might not want to do that. And then you got to have to say, okay, what doors will be open to me if I get this degree from this college, but I don't want to do that. So that's our approach. And a lot of people just kind of get to college and they figure it out. And I think that's a very crazy way to spend $50,000 or $100,000 or more. Completely crazy to me. But if you know you want to do supply chain, and if we're looking at what's going on in the global economy, and if it's something you want to go build a career out of, and be good at it, it kind of seems like a no-brainer right now. I mean, everything's subject to change. But if you look at what's going on in the world, we need more supply chain people right now. And if you look at what's going to happen in the next 10 or 20 years with technology, more global trade, yeah, we're going to need a whole bunch of very smart supply chain people at the helm to navigate all these messes we're probably going to get ourselves into. So, if you ask us today, is going into supply chain a good thing? Whether you're transitioning a career, you're mid-career and looking to do something else, or if you're just coming out of high school, this looks like something that's worth doing right now. You get in the right college and the right program and make the right moves. See, that's a whole other conversation. You can get the degree at the right college, but do you make the right moves? Do you go work for the right companies and the right titles and do the right things? That's a whole other level of coaching we do. But it's just one of those things that if you look what's going on in the last 18 months with COVID and, potential new pandemics, there's so many things going on that we're going to need more supply chain people. So if you have any questions, you can book a consultation on our website. I believe if you go to you can actually go to coaching, go to college planning, and right here is a schedule a 10-minute informational consultation just to give you some insights. It doesn't cost nothing. You don't got to sign up for nothing. But if you don't know what you want to do or what program or what school, or you want to get some insights and focus more on outcomes than someone's personal opinion on social media, then give us a call. Anyways, until then, we'll catch you on the next episode.